Scorpio is the eighth sign of the zodiac, having the symbol of a scorpion, with a fixed water element, and is part of the ruling earth Pluto. They are born between October 23 and November 21. Scorpios have a primary emotion of treason. They look cool in a leather jacket, but do not be deceived by their aesthetics. They have a veritably strong personality, hence giving people a redundant sense of trustability. Scorpios are veritably probative and emotionally veritably comforting. They're okay with uncomfortable silence, making them good secret keepers. You cannot be sure when they're serious or joking. They've got eyes that look directly into your soul. Just like every other water sign, Scorpios have shocking traits that you might not have imagined. Let's get on a ride as we discuss shocking traits you need to know about Scorpios. Egotistical and prideful. Scorpios tend to have pride. They're full of pride, though they aren't as brassy or boastful as other fixed signs. That sense of tongue-sureness can be meritorious at times, but it can also make it nearly insolvable to move them if they're wrong or at fault in situations. This negative quality prevents them from being honest with themselves and other people. Scorpio's pride makes it delicate to be around them. They come off as touchy and erratic, and when one is hysterical, they might say things that irritate them. It's veritably delicate for a Scorpio to concede that their relationship has failed. They will stay in denial as long as possible out of a sense of pride, and they will keep trying to remedy it. Indeed, if that means staying in a displeased relationship for a long time, their pride doesn't let them courteously back out or let go unless they are the one breaking a relationship. This aspect, unfortunately, makes a Scorpio obsessed with poisonous connections. Fatal flirters and strong sexual urges. Scorpio's coyness is fierce enough to be nominated fatal. It's like watching two deadly snakes entwine. A powder keg erupts. Their unrestrained coyness isn't about making musketeers. They flirt with others to assert domination. Flirting is a fun game for them. They see love as a battleground where the strongest and fittest survive, while the others are left to die in an attempt to steal the pillages of war from the whipper. Scorpios have a character for being the most sexual of the zodiac sign. There is a thing about their piercing aspect that makes one weak in the knees. Still, coitus isn't simply about pleasure for this sultry sign. Although they're relatively kittenish with everyone, they're picky about whom they've coitus with. All Scorpios suppose they're coitus gods, and that everyone they meet wants to shag them senseless. The fact that Scorpios love having sex more than the ones they're making love with does not make for an affable experience for whomever they're making love with. It can be downright disturbing. Anticipate complicated places that can be demeaning and confusing. Vengeful. Vengeance is Scorpio's middle name. They neither forgive nor forget. They must take their vengeance indeed after time. They do not believe in air because to them karma cannot be trusted. There's no escaping penalty once you hurt a Scorpio. They will stay for the right occasion to strike back, staying quietly and patiently until you're fully ignorant, and the sting will come back at you, toxic and painful. The Scorpio loves cerebral vengeance if doable. They would rather afflict an adversary's psyche and relish in destroying them. They can make it a mandate in life to destroy someone. Pious Scorpios are faithful and married musketeers and suckers. They're well known for their fidelity and devotion. They're deeply compassionate. They place the loftiest value on real. They tend to be direct because they do not have time for fake. Scorpios detest feeling like they've lost control of a situation. Some are less likely to act on selfishness because of this. They don't want to lose control of their feelings. Others are likely to reply by trying to control their mate. Scorpio is a fiercely saintly sign, and they anticipate their mates to be the same. Once a Scorpio falls in love, they go by and give everything they have to a relationship. Obsessive. Scorpio demands complete devotion from their partners, and they're willing to give their all to those they love. This need for devotedness turns into obsession. Occasionally, their compulsive fancy can turn to wrathfulness and vengeance. Scorpios usually develop strong bonds with their partners, which makes them dislike being apart for an extended period. This clinginess can also come from their desire to rule their terrain and people around them. This also can be managed with understanding, tolerance, and communication from both partners. Sometimes these obsessions can be salutary. When a Scorpio is passionate about an entity or someone, they can concentrate a lot of energy on their object of desire, whether that's a design, gift, skill, advocacy group, or another person. It can allow Scorpios to become veritably successful in terms of working nearly they're passionate about. Scorpios can also be extremely attractive and romantic in that way. Still, when you decide to leave a Scorpio, they don't take to it kindly. They tend to become fixated on their object of desire, obsessively allowing it and soliciting them back in over and over again. Indeed, if the situation isn't a good fit, they get veritably attached and can have a hard time letting go due to that compulsive nature, which can turn glutinous. This is particularly true for people who have their moon in Scorpio. The moon is what rules our feelings. Jealous. Scorpios being jealous and possessive is relatively natural, as jealousy is a common particularity associated with this sign. Scorpios dislike feeling as though they have no control over a situation. This makes some people less likely to behave out of envy. They don't want to lose control of their feelings. Others are likely to reply by trying to control their mate. They can be veritably jealous at times. They can become jealous if they feel their mate's success diminishes their power or control in the relationship. Their avarice may stem from a fear of being replaced or losing their mate's attention. For starters, Scorpios won't tolerate competition from someone, and the simple presence of someone who could pose a peril to their love affair fills them with a sense of possessiveness and indeed aggressiveness. When they decide to have someone for themselves, they tend to have some boons over that person. They tend to take the power of people, places, and effects, and can become veritably attached in a short period. They want to cover their loved ones and ensure that they're safe, which can occasionally lead to being protective and jealous. Determined. Scorpios are valorous. There is no one to have on your side during a time of trouble than a Scorpio. They will run into peril without an alternate study and are the first to bestow themselves with a delicate task. Scorpios detest feeling like they've lost control of the situation. Some are less likely to act on jealousy because of this. They don't want to lose control of their feelings. Others are likely to reply by trying to control their mate. When a Scorpio wants something, they go for it, and they do not hold back. When sharp-eyed Scorpios put their mind to getting to the top or seeing out anything, they achieve it and excel. Fierce desire for power. Scorpios are maybe the most misknown and mysterious members of the Zodiac. Uncommunicative by nature, their power can be felt indeed when they haven't said a word. Scorpio is a violent Zodiac sign, important and attractive. Scorpio is a sign that rules life, death, and rejuvenation. Their life is a story of transition and reinvention. Numerous Scorpios are also drawn to dark effects and frequently wear the color black or a shocking tone like red or hot pink. The Scorpio horoscope symbol is the scorpion. The Scorpio symbol is generally depicted as a scorpion and its stinger to insinuate Scorpio's largely sexual and forcefully protective nature. The Scorpio icon has a prolonged and sharp tail, revealing the scorpion's sting, unlike Virgo's tail, which is coiled into itself. Power and control are the main Scorpio particularity. The Scorpio symbol of the scorpion's stinger expresses the intensity, depth, and ray focus of this zodiac sign. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, god of the demi-world, and all effects are connected to the occult. The legend goes that the primary Greek gods drew straws to determine who would independently rule the earth, the ocean, and the demi-world. Unfortunately, Pluto entered the bad end of the deal and was impelled to oversee the sphere of the departed. Pluto is frequently depicted sitting on his throne with a two-rounded staff. Since Pluto wasn't discovered until the 1930s, Scorpio has Mars as its minor sovereign. Forming the cult, Scorpios are drawn to the occult because other people are cautious of it. They also take pleasure in control-related games and tactics. They might take others down a terrible path. A malicious Scorpio is a dangerous beast. Knowing the shocking Scorpio traits, it is time to understand the Gemini women. Click on the image and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.